my name's Hayley. Welcome to the Human Library video series. In this video series, we interview people from the local community and hear their stories. Today, I met with Trent Chapman, the owner of Local Pest Experts. He talks all about his experience running a small business and how important leadership is. I really liked how Trent talked about how he treats every person as an individual rather than a number when he's leading his team. What does your professional life look like at the moment?
Professional life in small business is pretty hard to explain, fairly chaotic. Every day is a fairly new challenge and you sort of have to fit into and respond to every challenge that comes at you. It's not like you have a whole team around you necessarily that has a dedicated role that can fit every challenge that comes your way.
Can you describe a skill that has helped you get to where you are in your professional life?
Yeah, I think importantly leadership. As a young person, I was always sort of a natural leader as far as I could always take a team and meet a goal. But creating a team over a long term or being a leader for the longer term with longer term goals in mind is very difficult. It's really hard. I read lots of books, I've done a lot of study on how to become or be a good leader, but the thing you learn with lots of experience in leadership is that it's far too nuanced to learn apart from anything hands-on. Every single person has a different need that they need to get from you or from their employment or from whatever you're trying to achieve, and they'll also need something different from you. So it's just being able to, I suppose, learn to respond to every nuanced person and individual in the team so that you can get to the goal that everyone's trying to get to.
Can you tell us about a specific time where you've had to use leadership to reach a goal?
Leadership's probably a hard one for a specific time. Especially January 2024 was a really tough one for our team. We come back out of Christmas. The lead up to Christmas is always really difficult, and we'd come back one team member down, they'd lost their licence. So I think it was just really cool to see all the work that had been done prior to that and all the leadership and everything, like all the experience in building the team, to see the team be able to respond. I'd virtually dropped out of business operations and back onto the tools full time, and to just see the business continue to do what it does without a leader at the helm. I think that really goes to show that the leadership for the team and the team development is going exactly how it should be.
Is this skill something that you learnt on the job or did someone teach it to you? I
think a combination across many fields. Again, reading lots of books, listening to lots of podcasts. I've been fortunate enough to have many mentors. A family business, I had obviously my parents, but for a long time we were part of a bigger group of companies, so I managed to pick up a lot of mentors through there, lots of clients, but also just lots of local business owners who are able to give the advice, like I said, that you can't necessarily read out of a book. I think trying to read from a book, you get one very narrow perspective, but when you talk to people who have led big teams, like I said, they sort of always push you towards trying to figure out what that nuanced difference is, and you can get a lot of value out of that.
What do you love about your professional life at the moment?
Asked me 2 months ago. I think just before Christmas I'd literally explained my job to be a fairly fake job compared to what I was used to over the last 7 or 8 years. It's been a fairly big slog, lots of big hours and a lot of hard work, but we're starting to get a bit of momentum and my job became sort of whatever I wanted to do on that day. Right now it's fallen back into a bit of chaos, but again, small business, highs and lows. So I think the thing that I like most is being able to, again, after we got through January, look back at it and see the entire team functioning as it should be, but all the individuals that stood out to really make sure things kept moving as they should be without me being directly involved.
Yeah, why is running a small business important to you?
I think small businesses, we fit a really important part of the business ecosystem. Naturally, large businesses are very important as well, but small businesses provide an opportunity for the local economy to really focus where it should be. A lot of sporting clubs wouldn't operate without the funding from small businesses. A lot of small cafes and all the other small businesses in that ecosystem wouldn't be able to operate without that sort of circular economy. But also, really importantly, the people within a business get a lot more focus and attention and a lot more opportunity than they necessarily would in a large business, because they're seen as a person and not a number. So I think that's where small business fits, and we're obviously a growing business, and one day we might be at the larger end, but I'd like to think that we'll always be able to keep that focus on people and make sure that we're really developing the team over everything else.
What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self when they're first starting out?
Yeah, I think patience is probably the one, and I'm sure people told me patience was important, but I was always really focused on achieving, work really hard, long hours, and set deadlines, set goals, all that sort of stuff. All very important to do, and I absolutely no regret in doing any of them, and I wouldn't advise not to, because it's really important. You need to set those goals so that you can achieve them. But importantly as well, just have a bit of patience around the outcomes. Generally, the timelines that you've set, you've constructed that yourself for no real reason apart from the fact that you want to achieve and achieve quickly. But as long as you've got that focus and the goal and the intent, you will get there, and you'll get there eventually. I think it was Wade Death from Jack & Co said that Apollo 11 was off course for 90% of its journey. So as long as you've got the end goal in mind and you can course correct, don't stress too much about meeting the exact deadline you set for yourself for no apparent reason.
What do you think it would have meant for your younger self to hear this advice?
I probably would have said that it was just some old dude who didn't understand because I have stuff to do and a timeline to do it in. So I'm sure, like I said, that I was told that advice at some stage by someone, but I suppose it's through lived experience that you really get to understand what is meant by that.